I don't know if it was the flutter of the pigeons or the sizzle of its hot kachoris. Maybe it was one of those rocky rickshaw rides in its tightly packed alleys. Or was it just the riot of colors exploding in plain sight? Truth be told, we came here for its palaces and lakes. But somewhere between its narrow gullies and grand havelis, we left with a warmth that would last a lifetime. Call it the city of lakes, but for us it will always be so much more. Because there are some firsts that simply cannot be forgotten.
Oh man, all these pigeons, no, they're nice to see. But when they fly close to my baby, I'm like, stay away. Your poop is unhygienic for it. Yeah, she agrees. I think she likes the place, she's very happy. But otherwise we're enjoying the chaos, I think.
Chaos is one of the three C's that defines Udaipur. And on our first morning here, we had begun to see what we had signed up to. But the other two C's was what we were really here to see. Culture that seeps out of every crack and corner you can possibly step into. And then there is character, which, if you have the slightest eye for detail, cannot be missed. One of the manifestations of Udaipur's character is in its bold choices for food. And we say this as gastronomically rule-bound South Indians. Now we hope we're not setting a bad example here, but hey, some rules are meant to be broken. And when you're in Udaipur, just do what the Udaipuris do. So here goes.
So here's what I love about Rajasthan. Everything that you consider junk food, like kachoris, samosas, jalebis, everything. These guys have it bang in the morning. They wake up and they have it for breakfast. And they say, screw your diet, right? And they're pretty fit, I would say. And if I want to be here, it's obvious that I'm going to exploit it. So that's why, 7 in the morning, we are here at a kachori place to kickstart our day with some hot kachoris. The first time I'm eating a hot kachori, because in Bangalore, right, it's always cooked, it's always prepared and we just buy it off the shelf and we go home and we eat it, but here it's like hot. And obviously it's supposed to be hot because this is like the idli vada of Rajasthan.
Man, it's so tasty, dude. And it's not like that greasy thing that we get back home, right? And eating this with a baby is like another challenge.
We got this other dish which looks very much like a aloo bonda because we were like, why not? Since we're anyway eating unhealthy in the morning, quote unquote unhealthy in the morning. It actually tastes really, really good. But hands down, the best kachori, obviously, that I've ever had in my life, because this is where the kachori originates from. So if you're coming to Udaipur or Rajasthan and if you're not having kachori, then shame on you.
So we are staying in the old town area which is known as Jagdish Chowk, and this place is like chaotic at best, but it's really hilarious how a lot of these places are catered to the foreign tourists, because you have places which are called like the upper deck and things that are just not part of the Indian vocabulary, but somehow it's made its way into how they name restaurants.
Jagdish Chowk is pretty much the cultural epicenter of Udaipur. It gets its name from the 500-year-old Jagdish temple it hosts. Now, it doesn't take long before you realize that the Udaipuris take their religion quite seriously. And around the time that we were there, we got to witness a local festival, which only meant a grand stage for Udaipur to show off his cultural prowess. A carnival of colors that could put your fancy OLEDs to shame. A showstopper in its own right. Little bit of drama and a whole lot of dole. And kids dreaming about the feast we were pretty sure was waiting back home. In short, a quintessential Indian party where the whole town comes down to the streets. Now, we would have ideally loved to blend into the crowds, but the little princess was promised a palace early next day, and she sure wasn't gonna miss her full night's sleep.
A very busy touristy Sunday afternoon here in Udaipur, and we've come to do what is most probably the most touristy thing to do in Udaipur, which is seeing its city palace. And usually we don't do these kind of things, but then when you're in Rajasthan, it only is fair to go and pay your respects to the royalties, right? This little one here is not so very keen, because I don't think she's a very, how do I put it, an active Sunday afternoon person. I think she gets it from her parents.
Stinks.
It's okay.
That's hot shit. Way to go, intro to hot.
It's crazy how detailed even the minor parts of a building are. Like if you look at these supports to the windowsills, which you could have gotten away by just putting a single ledge or something like that. But then here, you have these really ornate, beautifully crafted, I don't know, it looks like a lion or something like that. It just shows how much wealth there used to be here, right? I mean, to put in that kind of money on something that I would consider minor or, not so important.
The city palace of Udaipur is a never-ending maze of tunnel-like portals that take you through the history of the Mewar dynasty. It's got a little something for everyone. For those closet architects, there cannot be a better flag bearer of the Rajput architecture. If you're into arms and ammunition, you've got the Royal Armoury that you could check out.
They have a pen pistol.
Small hidden temples for the religious kinds, and probably some of the best views of Udaipur if you just don't feel all that cerebral. Like I said, something for everyone. Or maybe not.
I said travel's never going to remain the same.
Well, it may have changed, but it's not gonna stop for sure.
I done came up, went through the ups and downs, but I stayed tough, never took a short.
Apparently this quadrangle here is where the coronation of the king is to take place, because we also have the small little temple, which in a way blesses the coronation. And I guess that window there is where people could see, or the queen could see. This is my speculation.
I'ma stay
Where there's the balcony, they've got this lovely glass mirror work, and around it you have like these women, and the way the women of the dynasty are depicted, they are also warriors. So they're also holding shields and I think something like a sword or something like that, which is pretty cool.
went through the ups and downs, but I
We wanted to see everything.
kinda never gave up. This time around, I'ma stay up.
She doesn't care if it's the royal palace. She wants to sleep, she's going to sleep.
Never took
So we've come to the garden area, which is apparently where the queens used to hang out, and this place feels restful. Like it's really hot here, it's midday, but you can't tell because of the shade of the leaves and everybody's just sitting around. Even indoors, the details are so gorgeous. You have that light coming in through the lattice windows, and you have these beautiful framed views, and man, they've just done this place up right. She's so excited.
Oh my god.
Sean, I can smell the food and it smells amazing. Yeah, where have they come?
Okay, so this restaurant was an accidental discovery because last night I was kind of roaming around to find food for myself because Pooja and the kid had slept, and I found this restaurant that I actually wanted to go to, but they didn't let me in because I was a lonely, dino. So I eventually ended up coming to this restaurant, and the food was so bloody good that I had to get poached. How does it look, Pooja?
Amazing, appetizing. I'm just waiting for you to come and take her so I can take it. So we've ordered a special Marwadi thali, which looks like it's the chef's recommended special over here. And I must say it's very enticing. They have a paneer thing going with pulkas. There's some curry with cabbage and gobi and aloo and stuff. There's rice, and then there's the special star, which is your dal bati. So there's this ball of protein, and then you have it with the dal, and then the chas, because it gets super hot in here. I don't know if you can tell from my face, but man, you're out for 5 minutes and it looks like you need a shower. Okay, you weren't exaggerating, it's amazing. I was like, how awesome will it be? I know what you're talking about. Dude, what is this paneer, dude? Delicious, it's like gone in 60 seconds.
A gone in 60 seconds sort of lunch usually isn't very conducive to travel, and I think can speak for everyone in their mid-30s here. Well, good for us, because at the heart of Udaipur is a place where you can safely hit that hibernate button. Amidst the scorching Rajasthani afternoon heat, the Jagdish temple is a place that promises all the peace that one may need to rest and recoup.
Some random piece of trivia from Wikipedia. Apparently, 500 years ago, they built this temple with about 15 lakh rupees. So, the lesson learned is that inflation is bloody real.
Look at this. There's like levels of sculptures. If you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the whole thing is like a narrative. It's like the elephant is holding her arm, and here they're locking horns. I think they're in a fight of some sort. What do you think? Do you like it? You can't eat it. You just have to see. Everything is not to be eaten.
There's only sense right now. It's like taste.
She's like, I'm going to eat. It looks interesting.
Afternoons in Udaipur are mostly spent hiding as much as you can from its punishing heat, and the natives have figured many different ways when it comes to it. Of course, their favorite is to take shelter next to their beloved Lord Jagdish amidst all that ancient artistry. But clearly, there are a few other options. On one end of the spectrum is to shut shop and get that much needed beauty sleep. On the other end is to very enthusiastically add to that culture of chaos. And if you want to hit middle ground, there is always Rabdi, arguably the best in the world.
I've never been a big fan of cream, but this is one of the best sweets I've ever tasted. If you're in Udaipur, you've got to try this.
Us though, being the FOMO-driven travelers that we are, took a stroll in the characteristic gullies of Udaipur. And like always, it did pay off.
Oh my god, it doesn't get more real than this. Delicious, dude. So the curry is a bit sweet, and the masala is like proper masala spicy, and the papad is crunchy. So it has all the good texture. You will definitely go for seconds.
I have ordered myself some dahi kachori. It's the first time I'm having kachori with dahi, and it is out of this world. Absolutely out of this world. I never thought that mixing curry and papad and dahi and chachori would actually work, but then this is a discovery for me.
I'm not so sure about God of War, but God of Kachoris and papads, you've got my vote for it. As Udaipur begins to wind down, it lets you pick between two stark opposites when it comes to its evenings. And like the setting sun, if you prefer being a wallflower, Lake Pichola would be the way to go.
So excited. So we came towards the fag end of the sunset and the lights are starting to come on and it just looks prettier than before. And I kind of feel glad that we came later. Isn't it magical? Look at all the lights. She wants to jump into the water. I don't think she realizes, like, you need to know how to swim.
Now, if you consider yourself the exact opposite of a wallflower, which we're pretty sure our daughter's turning out to be, don't you worry. There is always one evening party that you can turn up at. Some might call it mainstream, but there is no denying that this troupe of artists is one of Udaipur's finest. A return to its rich heritage every day as the sun goes down. A celebration where tourists and travelers from around the world can come together and watch tradition unfurl in close quarters, in all its brilliance. The tiny ones are not forgotten either, although the tiniest amongst us may need a bit of a lift, at least to get the best views. We don't mind that at all. And you have been warned, the energy here can get quite contagious. Udaipur, like all good art, is about one thing: layers. And the more time you spend here, the more these layers show themselves. In the short time we spent here, we discovered that beneath all that culture, all that character, and all that chaos, there was a hidden something else. The calm in its waters, the calm in its streets, and for those willing to feel it, the calm within its chaos. I sure hope she remembers all these layers in the many years to come, at least in broad strokes. We sure will not forget even the smallest of details.